Rumors are circulating once again that the Thunder could be targeting Lauri Markkanen ahead of the 2024-2025 NBA season after, for a few weeks, it went quiet after the signings of Isaiah Hartenstein, the addition of Alex Caruso, and also the re-signing of Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe. It seemed as though the Thunder were out of the race for Lauri Markkanen as we got our big man that we needed in Hartenstein. However, recent reports have shown that the Thunder could be a dark horse and a sleeper team to go after Lauri Markkanen and add them to their squad ahead of the 2024-2025 season. And before we get all that, I just want to say, if we do that, we will be the title favorites 100%. I'm going to be completely honest. It moves Isaiah Hartenstein to the bench. We'd have a true backup center if that was the case. Lauri Markkanen at the 4, Dub at the 3. And then we figure out the rest there, SGA at the 1. We'll go into the rest of that later in this video. But before we get deep into this video here, I want to take a moment and say that currently we are at 1,616 subscribers. Like I've mentioned, we have a 2,000 subscriber goal before the start of the season. I know we can hit that. I know we can. You guys have, are some of the greatest fans out there in the community. Like I've said before, not fans. You're more of a family to us here in the Thunder community. So if you guys enjoyed the content and you find yourself coming back on a regular basis, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. It's the best way to support the channel. With that out of the way, we can go ahead into a deep dive on this video and talk about what report I'm, kind of basing this off of, that Lauri Markkanen could be back on the trade market and the Thunder could go after him. And this report comes from Rylan Stiles over at Sports Illustrated. He writes some great articles over there along with Joel Lorenzi, Clemente Almanza with USA Today at Thunderwire. We get a bunch of our stuff or articles and reports from them, and a few times Bleacher Report and Clutch Points. But here's what Rylan Stiles had to say regarding the situation with Lauri Markkanen and how he could potentially be joining the Thunder. First piece of the article here. On Monday, Clutch Points reporter Brett Siegel emptied his NBA notebook, including his latest Markkanen rumblings that included labeling the Thunder as real suitors for the Jazz forward. There is nothing indicating that this is currently on the minds of the Thunder's front office, but this organization as a whole always keeps their plans tight. If league personnel are discussing the possibility of Oklahoma City pursuing Markkanen ahead of becoming extension eligible in just over 2 weeks, perhaps there is some truth to this narrative, Siegel said at Clutch Points on Monday. So as you can see there, some of it is based off of how he's about to become extension eligible and how the Thunder might go after him and extend him on the team. That way, we kind of have a true kind of, top 3 or 4 lockdown for the next 2 years, because a lot of people are thinking, they're wondering, is Lauri Markkanen a max type of extension guy, or is he not like $10 million under the max extension, what it's for? Would he be willing to take a pay cut to play on a contending team for the next 4 to 5 years? There's a bunch going into that. However, a lot of people have also mentioned before that if the Thunder are seriously interested in going after someone, they're going to do everything they can to get that. And a big part of that as well is we're one of the few teams that actually has a package that we can offer to the Utah Jazz that we will talk about in my personal, what I think the offer would look like if we do trade for Lauri. That'll be talked about later in the video. But we are one of the few teams that can actually give them pieces that they're looking for. And they only have 2 players. I believe it's Keyshawn George, and I can't remember who the other guy is that they have strictly as their untouchables. Everyone else is willing to be traded, is what they mentioned. And so it's one of those things where even if we don't get Lauri, we can still talk, trades with them, maybe get a Walker Kessler type of guy, John Collins. There are options that we can go to add size onto our bench if we need to. And so it's not like it's a do-all, like we have to get Lauri and then trade for the Jazz. That's all they'd be willing to talk to us about. But I do think with what we can offer, it is very likely. And also the rumors that the Warriors are kind of out of the Lauri Markkanen sweepstakes now for trading him after they aren't willing to get rid of some of their key players. Like Kuminga is one guy that the Warriors don't want to give up, that the Jazz wanted in return. So it's just kind of looking on all ends that neither organization could come to terms for a Lauri Markkanen trade. And the Warriors look like they're no longer competing for Markkanen. And so now it opens up the path for the Thunder a little bit easier. Now to go in the rest of this article here on what Rylan Stiles had to say, the Oklahoma City Thunder have put themselves in a position to be thrown into any semblance of a rumor regarding the trade market, with the team owning approximately $1 billion future NBA draft picks, plenty of young talent, and a win-now core. However, the idea of adding Markkanen remains far-fetched despite being able to afford the Danny Ainge price point. It does not make logical sense. Oklahoma City believes in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren as their championship core and would be unable to keep 4 max contract players under the new CBA and in the second smallest market in the league. So this is where it gets difficult. Looking at that right there, it becomes harder to actually make it logical and actually make it work out with Lauri Markkanen if that was the case. The only way it would be able to be done would be if one of those three guys between Chet, Lauri, and Dub would be willing to take a massive pay cut to stick with the team. That's the only way it really becomes possible. And we'd have to clear up a ton of cap space and room to be able to keep those guys. And also the new CBA rules, it's really hard to have four max players, and we can be able to do that for sure. It's just you do face some punishments if you go into that second apron tax now with the new CBA rules that we've talked about in a previous video. And so it's just one of those things where, is it really needed? Is it possible? I don't think it's needed. I think it's possible. We could definitely get him. But the fact is, I don't think we necessarily need Lauri Markkanen or Island Styles. He's talked about that a little bit before. I just don't think, we already are a championship team. We already have a great squad. Lauri Markkanen would definitely kind of make us the clear-cut favorites. The thing is, I don't think we need him to win a championship. I don't think so. I think there are other options at the power forward position that we can get for cheaper. We can lock down longer term as well later on in trades during the season in like December or so, December, January, before the trade deadline hits in full effect. It's just one of those things where I think there are better options for us that make sense logically, not talent-wise, logically and system-wise. That makes so much more sense for the Thunder to go and target ahead of the trade deadline for the next season. Now, if we do go after Lauri Markkanen, little trade package that I thought of that I think would be the most realistic trade package for Lauri Markkanen is this right here. Now, it is a little bit hard to see. I will go ahead and say that. It's, the biggest that it can be right now. But the package essentially revolves around Lou Dort and a few picks as well. As we trade Lou Dort, Kenrich Williams, Ousmane Dieng, Miami's 2025 first-round pick, our own first-round pick, and second-round pick, I believe that says Houston or Memphis right there for 2025, and then we'd get Lauri Markkanen in return. I feel like this is one of the more realistic trade packages that we could see. Maybe swap the second-round pick for another first-round pick, and maybe they don't want Kenrich or Ousmane Dieng on their team. But I feel like no matter what in a trade package, we're going to have to trade someone that brings value in our starting five. And I think out of our starting five right now, we can all agree it would be Lou Dort as who would be traded. I don't think we're going to give up Dub at all. I don't think we're going to give up Chet. We're definitely not going to give up SGA. And then whoever it comes down between in that last starting five position that we can talk about in another video as well, between Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso. I think it'd be pointless to trade Isaiah Hartenstein now after signing him, and along with Caruso, who has 1 year left on his contract. You want to see if he can actually be a useful member of the team come during the regular season. If he's not working out, you can trade him before the deadline. That's what you can do. And so I just think out of all of them, Lou Dort would be the one that would go in a trade package because they would want a starter in return. And he's young, and he's a great defender, one of the best defenders in the league. I just think this is what a trade package around for Lauri Markkanen would look like, surrounded by Dort with a good amount of picks as well, and throw in some young role players in there. Ousmane Dieng is one of them. Kenrich Williams isn't really young. He's just a good veteran and role player to help develop some guys on a young team. So it's just one of those things where it would be nice to get him. It would be a luxury that we can't afford to get. It's just, do we really absolutely need this? Do we need it? With the new CBA rules, because he's probably going to want a max extension. I know Chet and Dub will want maxes. Are they willing to take pay cuts just to stick with the team, or are they going to want the money that they deserve? Because they do deserve max extensions if they keep playing the way that they have been. It's just one of those things where it might not work out. Money-wise, it probably won't work out for us, and if we do have four max players in the second smallest market with the new CBA rules going in the second apron tax, we're going to get punished, and it's not going to be good for us in the future. For the long run, it would not be good. So I just personally think Lauri Markkanen at the moment no longer need to go after him. I don't think we should focus on him. Focus on someone else like a Bobby Portis or someone else that can play that 4 role for us and move Chet back to the 5, Hartenstein off the bench, because I think that would be great for us, having some true size off the bench, 7-footer coming in with that second squad led by Caruso and Wiggins. It'd be great for us. It would. It's just there are other options that I think are better fits long-term wise than Lauri Markkanen now. But I'm interested in what you guys personally think. Let me know if you guys think we should still go after Markkanen, just, not really care about the new CBA rules at all, just go after him so we can win a ring this year, or set up for long-term success and see if we can win a few rings down the road. Let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.